Are your beneficiaries correct? Avoid these mistakes. You worked hard. You built your wealth. You thought you protected your legacy. But there's one thing that might derail it all, and most people never think to check it: your beneficiary forms. These forms, not your will, decide who gets your 401k, IRA, or life insurance. If you haven't looked at them since getting married, having kids, experiencing the loss, or going through a divorce, your money can end up in the wrong hands, legally and automatically. Even small oversights can have big consequences, and updating these forms is one of the easiest yet most overlooked ways to protect your family and your legacy. Hi, I'm Larry Sprung with Mitlin Financial. Beneficiary forms are one of the most overlooked pieces of financial planning. Many people spend years building wealth, creating wills, and even setting up trusts, believing their legacy is fully protected. But the reality is that your beneficiary forms often hold more power than your will when it comes to retirement accounts and life insurance. Overlooking them can lead to outcomes that are completely contrary to your intentions. Even small mistakes can trigger major headaches for your loved ones, making it essential to understand how these forms work and to check them regularly. So let's talk about some things you can do. Point 1, why your will doesn't control your retirement accounts. Many people assume their will governs everything after they pass. In reality, retirement accounts and life insurance are different. These accounts pay directly to the beneficiaries listed on the beneficiary designation form, bypassing your will entirely. That means even the most carefully drafted will cannot override what's listed on your retirement or insurance documents. For example, a 401k might still list an ex-spouse as the primary beneficiary. Even if your will specifies that your current spouse should inherit, the account provider is legally obligated to follow the outdated beneficiary form. According to the IRS, the named beneficiaries on accounts like IRAs and 401ks take priority over any instructions in a will. Life events like marriage, divorce, new children, or the death of a loved one can all create discrepancies that have major consequences if left unchecked. Beneficiary designations are so important, as we've been discussing, and I'm going to share a story with you where we avoided a potential disaster. We had a family that we worked with where the husband had a retirement account, a 401k, and we were reviewing the plan for him. And we were consistently and constantly asking him to provide us with a printout of his beneficiary designations. And he just never provided it to us. Finally, 5 years after asking and getting the beneficiary designations from him, we realized he had a potential disaster on his hands. He had been married for 10 years plus, had 3 kids with his current wife, and his beneficiary was his mom. Had he passed away during this time that we were asking him to review the beneficiary designations, his wife, his kids, they wouldn't have seen a dime of that money, and it would have gone to his mom. Thankfully, we did that beneficiary review. He updated his beneficiaries to his spouse as his primary and his 3 kids as his contingents. And you know what? Crisis was averted. And he was a lot more joyful with the newly designated beneficiaries. Point 2, common mistakes on beneficiary forms. Even when people check their forms occasionally, mistakes are common. Fidelity Investments reports that roughly 30% of Americans have outdated beneficiary designations on retirement accounts. Some of the most frequent mistakes include listing an ex-spouse after divorce, failing to update the form to include children or grandchildren, leaving the form blank entirely, or not naming a backup or contingent beneficiary. Not naming a backup can have serious consequences. If the primary beneficiary passes away or is otherwise unable to inherit, funds may default to your estate. This can create delays, additional taxes, and potential disputes among family members. In some cases, families may even end up in court trying to resolve who gets the funds, which can be costly and certainly emotionally draining. So here's a tip. Check all accounts that rely on beneficiary designations at least every 3 to 5 years and after any major life event. This simple step can save months of stress and protect your legacy. Let's jump into point 3, how to make sure your money goes to the right person. Once you know your forms may need updating, the next step is taking action. Start by reviewing all retirement accounts, life insurance policies, and other accounts that rely on beneficiary designations. Make sure your primary beneficiary reflects your current wishes. Equally important is naming a contingent or backup beneficiary. This ensures that your money still goes where you want if the primary beneficiary cannot inherit. Keep copies of all forms and store them securely. While your will does not control retirement accounts, having all documents aligned reduces confusion, prevents disputes, and ensures your money goes exactly where you intend. Investopedia notes that proper coordination of beneficiary forms with estate planning is one of the most effective ways to protect both your family and your legacy. Let's give you a bonus consideration, the surprising details many overlook. There are a few additional details that often get ignored. Account types matter. Roth versus traditional IRAs, life insurance policies, and workplace plans may all have different rules for beneficiaries. If you name a minor as a beneficiary, you may need to set up a trust. Otherwise, the court may appoint a guardian. Families with blended households, charitable intentions, or second marriages need to pay extra attention to ensure designations match their current intentions. These nuances may seem small, but overlooking them can create major headaches for your heirs. Updating your beneficiary forms is one of the easiest ways to protect your family and your legacy, but it is also one of the most overlooked. Even people who have taken careful steps to create wills, trusts, and estate plans can still face costly surprises if these forms aren't reviewed and updated regularly. By taking the time to check, update, and align your beneficiary designations with your current life circumstances, you can ensure your wealth goes exactly where you intend and that your family avoids unnecessary stress, conflict, or delays. If you want peace of mind knowing that your hard-earned money will go exactly where you intend, now is the time to take action. At Mitlin Financial, we help families review and update beneficiary forms, align them with their estate plans, and create strategies that protect both your loved ones and your long-term financial goals. Don't wait until it's too late. Reach out to us at Mitlin Financial today and make sure your money is going to the right people exactly as you intend. If you found this video helpful, be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss our next episode. I'm Larry Sprung with Mitlin Financial, where we strive to bring joy to your money journey. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.